Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. And today, we are diving headfirst into something that feels almost surreal for Detroit Lions fans. Let's be honest, this is unfamiliar territory. The Detroit Lions, a team long synonymous with heartbreak, rebuilds, and top 10 draft picks, now find themselves on the exact opposite end of the spectrum. The Lions will make the 28th pick in the upcoming NFL Draft. Not 8th, not 5th, not even in the teens. 28th. Think about that. This is a franchise that has spent the better part of 2 decades looking up at the rest of the league, clawing its way through endless coaching changes, draft busts, and lost seasons. Now they're coming off a 15-win season, a franchise record, and back-to-back NFC North titles. That's not just progress. That's a full-blown metamorphosis. But with that success comes a new set of challenges. Because this year, the Detroit Lions are dealing with something they haven't had to deal with in a very long time: roster pressure, cap pressure, talent retention pressure, the kind of problems only winning teams have. And that's the big story today. So let's set the stage. Under general manager Brad Holmes and head coach Dan Campbell, the Lions have undergone one of the most impressive turnarounds in recent NFL memory. Not just in terms of wins and losses, but in culture, in confidence, in identity. And it's all been built on smart drafting, strong development, and calculated financial planning. Players like Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, David Montgomery, Ala McNeil, and Derek Barnes are all locked up through at least 2027. That's your offensive core, your trench strength, your locker room anchors. But what about the next wave? What about Aiden Hutchinson, the face of this new-look defense? What about Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, Sam Laporta, and Jameson Williams? All of these guys were massive contributors in 2024. All of them are due to hit free agency over the next few seasons. And that's where things get tricky. Brad Holmes recently admitted, "We had so many of these young players on rookie deals. We've benefited from the impact they've brought. But now the bill is coming due." Let's pause there. That one quote says everything you need to know about where this team is headed. Detroit is no longer building from the ground up. They are managing a contender. That means budget decisions. That means prioritizing core players. That means tough conversations in the front office about who stays and who goes. And that's why this draft, the one where they're picking 28th, is arguably more important than the drafts where they picked inside the top 10. Why? Because now they can't afford to miss. Let's say it again, they can't afford to miss. When you're rebuilding, you have margin for error. You can take a flyer on upside. You can miss on a pick or two, then replace that player in the next cycle. But when your team is stacked with young stars and climbing towards Super Bowl contention, every draft pick becomes a crucial puzzle piece. So what exactly are the Lions trying to solve? Let's dive into the positional breakdown. First up, edge rusher. Yes, Aiden Hutchinson is a beast. Yes, he'll be back stronger after the leg injury that shortened his 2024 season. But every dominant pass rusher needs help. And right now, the Lions don't have that consistent presence on the opposite side. They've tried a rotation. They've tried bringing in veterans. But the reality is, this is a position that can define entire games, entire seasons. So could pick number 28 go to someone like Darius Robinson from Missouri? Or maybe Lada Latu, if his medical's clear? Or will they be tempted to trade up into the teens if a top-tier edge talent slips past 15? Now let's talk interior offensive line. This one's sneaky, but don't ignore it. The Lions lost Kevin Zeitler to the Titans. And while Graham Glasgow has played admirably, he's not getting younger. Interior line play is the heartbeat of this offense. It's what allows Goff to operate cleanly, what opens up lanes for Montgomery and Gibbs, and what gives St. Brown those extra beats to work the middle. Could Holmes finally spend a first-rounder on an interior lineman again, like he did with Frank Ragnow in 2018? Some insiders believe Detroit is very high on Zach Zinter out of Michigan, or even Christian Haynes from UConn, 2 plug-and-play guys who could provide instant impact. Is it possible Holmes makes a boring, smart pick here that turns into a future All-Pro? Now let's shift to secondary. This unit has been a revolving door at times. But signing DJ Reed to a 3-year, $48 million deal adds stability. Losing Carlton Davis hurts, But with Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph maturing, the core is promising. Still, could a cornerback surprise be in play? Imagine someone like Cooper DeJean falling to 28th, a versatile defender who could play safety or corner. Holmes has never shied away from versatility. Could this be the move that completes the secondary? Let's not forget about depth. This team still lacks long-term answers at defensive tackle, despite adding Roy Lopez. And while DJ Reader brings veteran toughness, the position group still lacks a young ascending star. Could the Lions target someone in the second or third round here? And what about Holmes' track record with trades? Remember, 13 trades in 4 years, 9 trade-ups, 4 trade-downs. He's aggressive when he sees value. So don't rule out a move in either direction this year. Some draft analysts believe Holmes might trade out of the first round entirely to gain capital in the second and third. That would give Detroit more flexibility and allow them to restock depth without reaching. Now here's the wild card. What if Holmes does something totally unexpected? We know quarterback isn't in need. We know the offensive skill positions are loaded. But what if a top WR like Keon Coleman or Xavier Worthy falls to 28? Do you pass on elite speed just because you don't need it right now? Or here's a bolder question. What if Holmes targets a developmental quarterback in the mid-rounds? Someone to sit behind Goff, learn the system, and be ready by 2027? Could a guy like Spencer Rattler or Michael Pratt be on the radar in the fourth? Some fans would say that's a wasted pick. Others would call it smart insurance. It's moves like these that will determine whether the Lions can maintain their edge over the next 5 to 7 years. And it's why this draft, despite being late in the first round, might end up being the most pivotal one of Holmes' career. The entire NFC North is watching. The Vikings are resetting at quarterback. The Bears are taking a swing with Caleb Williams. The Packers? Well, they're quietly reloading and making noise again. So this isn't the time for Detroit to slip. This is the time to push the advantage, to outdraft, outdevelop, and outstrategize the competition. The question is, can they do it again? Can Holmes find that day 2 gem that becomes a cornerstone starter? Can Campbell and his staff mold another young prospect into a leader? Can Detroit make the leap from division dominance to Super Bowl contention? But what do you think about all of this? Are the Lions ready to manage the transition from rising contender to perennial powerhouse? Or are they staring down a difficult era of financial balancing acts and roster attrition? As a lifelong fan, I'll be honest, I've never felt more conflicted. I'm excited. I'm proud. But I'm also nervous. We've never been here before. We've never had this much to lose. But I believe in this front office. I believe in this locker room. And I believe that the next great Lions chapter starts right here at pick number 28. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Draft season is just getting started, and we'll be covering every rumor, every move, and every Lions headline from now until the final pick is made. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Lions!